Anybody here remember the 90s? The 90s, people? Okay. It was a crazy time, and I had a show called Politically Incorrect. Because, thank you. Because back then, political correctness had gotten so out of hand. I mean, blacks became African Americans, Mexicans became Latinos, and Indians became casino owners. Broken homes became dysfunctional families, bums became the homeless, crazy people became Fox News reporters.
All right, the Federal Communications Commission has decided they may just get involved in the Washington Redskins nickname controversy and ban any mention of the word Redskins over the airways because of its racist tendencies. But who decides what is really racist and insulting? Should that be the government? Welcome back to Midpoint, syndicated host on the Salem Radio Network, and the man who refuses to allow anyone to verbally box him in at any time. Kevin Jackson joins us again. Kevin, good to see you.
All right, ready to do some verbal kung fu with you, my friend.
Yeah, all right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you the first shot on this one. I'm going to go ahead and throw a punch at you here. First of all, there are those who will say, let's get right down to business here. Redskins is offensive, it is racist, it is wrong, and we have to shut that word down in every sense of the imagination, no matter what. You say?
I say let's call them the New Black Panthers. The Washington New Black Panthers. How about that? Look, it cracks me up that we have this discussion, whether it's the Chiefs or the the Seminoles or whatever. Anytime or even the use of the word Indian is supposed to be bad. And I would say, well, I tell you what, ask the 1 billion Indians from India if they don't like being called Indians. It is so ridiculous that we're talking about this stuff because the left is constantly looking for something to create racial strife. What is a problem with paying essentially a tribute to a culture?
All right. All right. Hang on a sec. You took a shot. I'm going to take a shot back at you. Here comes the return. Braves and Chiefs. Those are just what they are. They are not actually red skin. If you take it, and I speak to many Native Americans, and they say, look, the red skin is just offensive in itself. They called themselves Braves. They called themselves Chiefs. They called themselves Indians. What they're saying is red skin. That in itself, you're picking on the skin and you're making something very incorrect there. They're claiming that's the big problem here. There is a difference here, right?
I don't see any difference. It's a word, and one of them has a color in it. What if they had just called them the Skins? Would that have been a problem? Look, they were going to look for something to be upset about, and that this is not just limited to the Redskins. They want to get rid of every reference to these, quote, Native Americans that there are. My great-grandmother is a Navajo squaw, and her skin looked red. It's just the truth. And it was no issue for our family, no matter what you called her, because you know what? It was nothing but respect. You rarely hear of anyone talking badly about the Indians. We talk about how they lost their land, but they fought, tooth and nail to protect their family and their way of life. And unfortunately, people like Andrew Jackson ran them off and led to the Trail of Tears. If liberals really wanted to do something, get Andrew Jackson off the $20 bill.
Okay, here we go. Another 30, 40 seconds, and I got to run. Would you then have a problem if anybody called a team the Washington Blackskins?
No, and like I said, call them the New Black Panthers, call them the Washington Negroes, call them whatever you want. Make a tribute to the culture that is the black culture that survived slavery and the civil rights movement, because you know what? There is no team named after black folks.
I'm going to just almost, no, I'm going to leave that one sit here because you're going to start people already talking at this point. And I was going to, but I'm not going to ask you what your next suggestion might be on it, indeed, because I think you pretty much went right where it needs to go. All right, Kevin, got to run, out of time. Thanks a lot for joining us, my friend. We'll talk to you again soon.
My pleasure.
All right, like I said, we'll not be boxed in. After the break, a discussion on the political correctness of the inner filling and the outer coating of cookies. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. We'll also bring you up to speed on what's happening on Point. Today was the day that we have discussed so much, and a lot of it comes down to what's happening between the Middle East and also what's happening in Dallas with Ebola. It's a news story that has to be covered. That and a whole lot more coming up right here on Midpoint.